Good day, folks. Coming to you live once again from 2500 Promaster Avenue, aka the Man Cave, also known as the back of the van. However, currently I'm in the front of the van, but I'm at a shipper's location and I'm about a couple hours early, so I figured this would be the perfect time for a van tour. So here starts tour of my van, Expediting in Comfort, number 2. Some of you might be aware, a couple years ago I did a van tour in a 40 Econoline, but obviously this is a Promaster. Okay, I'll go ahead and turn the camera around. Once again, the front it's kind of messy on the front seat, but all of this crap can be moved to the back. I didn't take my seat out. I like my seat to be used as a passenger vehicle. So unlike everybody else, you won't see a refrigerator or microwave on my front seat. Same device as last time. You got your GPS. I have a rear-facing camera that runs full time because the vehicle comes with its own rear camera. When you put the vehicle in reverse and the camera pops up there. So there's nothing really to see up front. It's a basic vehicle, so we'll go. All of the things are in the back. So we'll go to the back, and I'll walk out and come back in because there's quite a bit to explain. Okay, looking in the vehicle, this is what you have. It is a standard 3-skid vehicle, but it is tight. You got 54 inches of width and exactly 12 inches of length. As you notice, there's two obstacles sticking out. There is a refrigerator right there in the center, and above there's a microwave. Both devices, there's some tricks there that can be moved should that third skid get in the way, and I'll show you that in a minute. Also, you'll notice I already have in place 3, your brackets in place for you, where you can put 2x4s to prevent freight from moving. I can't think of the name of those right now, but I have those in place, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. Okay, well, let's get in the van. All right. The typical setting is like similar to last time. We're still using a 2,000 watt inverter. That's a Bluetooth speaker on top, and I'll show you why that's there. And this time we have 4 solar panels on top of the van. Very clear, not a very sunny day today, so I'm only getting 0.7 amps. Sun will be setting in about an hour, so not a lot to brag about there, but that is where my electronics come in, and they are wired all over the vehicle. So we'll go ahead and turn around to the utility center. This time we upgraded the TV. There's a 40-inch television here. As you can see, there's Contras playing on there from the Nintendo. We'll explain some of the devices here. Obviously, there is a lot of power being ran, so we got a lot of outlets going on. We got your standard coffee maker, makes 4 cups if you need it. Miss Pac-Man's hooked up to your phono video RCA in jacks, Nintendo cable. We have a mini Nintendo that's been kind of hacked, so it has over 100 games. In fact, I think just about every game Nintendo made is on that little box. We got a smaller weather station we went with this time. As you can see, it's only 34 degrees outside, and I just opened the door, so it's 55 inside. Now this device here I'm quite happy with. This is called a Mika. It's a video, actually it's a file player. I mean, just about anything you can download on the internet, whether it's movies, music, porn, anything you can, it goes through an HDMI jack and it'll play on your TV. So as opposed to using a Blu-ray player, which I actually have a Sony Blu-ray player, plays DVDs, etc. But instead of using that for your movie collection, because obviously you don't have a lot of room here, so you can't store a lot, I can use the Mika. So I can download whatever you can fit on a, this here is a 128 gig USB card. So I can probably get 60 movies on there. I mean, you assume a movie takes anywhere between 1 and 2 gigs, and there's 128 gig there. And in addition to that, it also has room for another card slot here, which is a secure digital card. So you can put another 128 gigs. So that little device can easily have 100 movies or more on it, depending on how much flash memory you got. So it kind of did for TV what the iPhone or the iPad did for music. You can store quite a bit on there. I don't do a lot of talking on the CB, but I like it because I can hear the weather at one touch. So I do have a secondary CB back here. As you can see, there's 2 fans, and I sleep with my head to the back door. So my head is all the way here in the back, and I'll show you that in a minute. So both of those fans can blow on me if I need. Up top, we just have a typical mirror, and looks like we have Kate Bach telling us that it is the month of November. On top of everything, we have up here, I just have I gotta make these little bungee fasteners everywhere. I'm gonna get in close to that. So with these fasteners, these fasteners come down, and as you see, I have a chair up here. So this is not just a typical photo chair, it's a recliner. So I can actually sit pretty comfortable up there. So that goes above the television. Okay, and then over here, similar, it's really difficult. I'm gonna go back a little bit because it's really difficult to see all of this with the camera turned in landscape mode. But you get the standard drawers in the other vehicle. I also had these type of drawers. These drawers, you can get them one pack here, 3 drawers. You can get them from Walmart for $3.99, $4.99, and they're deep. They hold quite a bit. So they come out. I mean, as you can see, you can get a regular length utensil in there. I mean, I got tons of shit in here. So I would highly recommend that for any van build in terms of keeping things organized. So I mean, I got everything in here there's another phone in there. I mean, they got all types of USB chargers, so I can charge a phone if I'm going to go. So yeah, there's just a ton of things in there. But in this van, unlike the last van where I had a dual bank just like this, in this van on the other side, I have 2 more. So you're getting 12 drawers all together. Up top, there's a loaf of bread there, but up top, you get this. So the way this van is set up, you're getting, let me come back outside again. You got your cabinets on this side. This is the side we were looking at with the television and the mirrors and the fan, so you can kind of see it from a distance off. Now, keep in mind, if you notice down here, the wheel well is carpeted. Now, the reason I'm pointing out the wheel well is because from the wall to the wheel well, to the end of the wheel well, you're getting, I think, 9 inches of space. So believe it or not, all of this is built, it's only 9 inches deep. I mean, so you as you can see, you're able to do quite a bit with 9 inches. I'll leave that to your imagination, but you can do a lot with 9 inches, and that's all that is 9 inches deep for that entire bank of equipment and everything like that. Once again, I went with the thin slate curtains. These are on a hook here, but I went with the thin slate curtains. They close over the back door to help prevent any, drafts and things like that, to lessen that. Once again, I would highly advise getting a CO2 detector. I keep that low because that's where the CO2 tends to hover around the bottom. And this side, there's not a lot here. There is a light that should be on the other side, and it will be moved to the other side. But that light, actually, when I'm in bed, I can turn it on. It just gives me just enough light to, read or eat in bed or whatever. And like I said, once again, my head is here near the back. Now, with this van, once again, I went with all white because I like the fact that white reflects light and it gives it a clean look. Did have an ink spill that I've got to paint over, but yeah. So this is what you got from the outside looking in. Now I'll come in and show you what I was talking about earlier. If you notice on the microwave is a little bit more than the 9 inches that you're given. It protrudes out another 2 or 3 inches. So under worst case scenario, which means I would have to have a third skid that reaches up to the ceiling. There are hinges all the way around this, as you can see, so that these flaps fold back and the microwave comes out. And once these flaps fold back, this no longer protrudes out into the freight space. So this can, I've never had it happen, but just in case, it can happen. Now keep in mind, this vehicle has dual side doors. There's a door on both sides. And despite all the stuff I have in here, both doors are functional and can open. So it also allows me to load freight from the side if I have to, because the side doors are just as wide as the back. They open up just as wide and they're just as tall, so you can load freight in from the side. So if I had a worst case scenario, I could load freight in from the side and eliminate that problem. And the same thing with the refrigerator. I have it mounted, but it's mounted in a way that it doesn't move when I'm driving, but I can easily get it out of here. There's one L bracket down there that doesn't protrude into the 54 inches of width, but it holds the refrigerator in place. So if anything happens and I need to move quickly, I can get out of here. I can get the refrigerator out the way and put it on top of freight, put it on the front seat, worst case scenario, whatever you got to do to get that third skid in if it's so big that it requires use of that space. So far, what I've had happen when I get a third skid is it's light enough that I can slide it over here toward this door, still strap it down to the E-tracks, and the refrigerator can stay where it's at. I mean, the refrigerator only really protrudes out when you push it up against the wall, maybe 3 or 4 inches. So it would have to be a skid that's pretty wide, like a 52-inch skid or whatever to do. But if it's a typical 48-inch skid, it will slide right in here with the refrigerator still there. I just have to push the refrigerator all the way up against the door, but I have done it several times. So it actually works despite how it looks. Other than that, in terms of cooking, I actually use the top of the refrigerator for a cooking surface, and I have an additional light here, which is pretty damn bright when you turn it on, but it actually gives me plenty of light here to see while I'm cooking. So that's attached to the microwave cabinet, and it's behind the hinges so that it doesn't come out. I also advise having a smoke detector, as you see here. Now, the way this vehicle is set up, let me see if I can get out a remote while I'm showing you. I don't like staring at lights, so all the lights are above. They're kind of recessed in the ceiling so that you're not looking at them when you're laying down or sitting down. If you notice behind the lights, though, there are 3 circles on the wall. Those 3 circles actually provide colored lighting, which is one of these things here. So I can actually turn this on. Well, I actually had to plug that in. Now, that's interesting. But I can turn that on, and it will give me every light that's on this remote. So any of these colors here, I can light up my cabin rather, in this array. I haven't used it in so long that apparently it's come unplugged from somewhere. So I have to figure that one out. Because that's normally I like for everything to work in here without any setup required at all, and I don't like the fact that that's not working. But we'll go ahead and show you this. So now the last question remains is, you got everything set up. I'm actually, like I said, sitting here at the shipper waiting to go. But the last question to ask, you might want to ask is, well, where does he sleep? So let's show you that. Okay, the way, I'm going to turn the light on here. So the way I have it set up is, if you notice, let me come back. This huge wall is the bed. So there's 2 bungee cords that literally hold it in place. Now these pieces, these 2x4, these brackets that I have down here, the reason why I have them set up is just to prevent me from having to do that and save a little bit of time on this video, because I know it's going to be a long video. But what I have here is these boards here. I actually had them chop up a 11-foot board. That plank there weighs about 5 to 10 pounds. I have 3 of those. Not only will they hold freight, but I'm going to show you what else they're used for. Now, I have them wrapped in Gorilla Glue tape just so they don't splinter, but these boards are what you would use to run down the center of a wooden home. So they will support they support the house. So because I'm a 300-pound guy, so you wonder, like, what can he use to hold himself up? So unlike with the last bed, I am no longer on the floor. So as you see, there are 3 planks here. 1, 2, and here's the 3rd one. And with the planks, they're not steady. They can move, but they're locked in place with the E-track brackets. Now, they will gladly hold freight, and they'll hold quite a bit of freight from moving. They are 11 inches high, 11 and a half inches high, and they are, I believe they are 1.5 inches thick, and they are solid wood. So what we have now, like I said, we have 2 bungee cords going across. I'll remove this pillow. I have 5 pillows in here, but we'll go ahead and take this off. So we have the bungee cords hooked under the shelf supports. So once you take those out, I'll come back and show you. I can do this with one hand. So this folds down. Now, if you can see, that's the bed. That's how the bed comes down. So the bed folds out the wall. And now the problem, though, is the bed is in the center. So the good thing is it does give you room to walk around the bed. So if you need to do things, this side, if you can see or not, it's on hinges. I'll show you how that works in a minute, but it's on hinges, as you see, for me to flip it down. Now, one of the issues is when you put pillows on the bed, because the bed is kind of floating in the middle of the floor, you're gonna have a hard time holding pillows under your head because they'll fall right off the edge of the bed, whether you're in the front or whether you're in the back. So what I did to solve that problem, lift the mattress up. If you can see there's a plank, another board. It's once again, it's on hinges. It flips up. There you go. You see the two hinges there? And then you can push the bed back up against it. And that will act as a very nice headboard. And I believe it or not, the way it just falls down and looks like that, it looks very flimsy, but it works very well. I mean, it's strong enough to the point where I can sit up and put my back against that, and it holds me. So that's how strong that is. That is not wood. That is PVC, and it's like kind of like a plastic material, but it's very strong. So that's what I use for the headboard. So if you look at the bed now, you got a headboard, and it's right in line with the television. So now you can see how everything works. I can make coffee from bed. I can look over and see the weather. I can play video games, watch TV. The fans are aimed right at my head. If I need to actually have a conversation on the CB, which I almost never do, that's there. And of course, I have a Bluetooth surround speaker or surround sound speaker that will flood this cabin with sound. So that's there as well. So all of that comes from that angle. And I mean, even when I'm at home, the first thing I notice is that I don't have as much at my fingertips as I do in this van. So there's quite a bit going on there. Other than that, the only thing left to show you, now this should be on, this was on hinges, but I kind of took it up. But this is my power bank is behind here. So if you notice where the bed is, I just removed the board that should be on hinges, but right now I don't have it on there. But this is what I'm running the vehicle off of. The two batteries on the right are 6-volt golf cart batteries that are hooked in series to give you 12 volts. And then Walmart has a battery that I purchased, and I actually added that to the other 12 volts and use that in parallel. So these are the numbers on that 12-volt battery from Walmart. Looks like it says 114 amp hours at 1 amp. And these two batteries here, it's upside down, but it says 132 minutes, 75 at 75 amps. So those golf cart batteries put out quite a punch. They're not exactly AGM batteries. They're cheaper, but they're comparable in terms of how much current and power they put out. The only difference is with the AGM batteries, you can mount them in all types of varieties and you never have to add liquid. But that's kind of how this works. So I can put that back, which, like I said, that will be put on hinges. But this is the setup. This is kind of how it works. In terms of heating, because as you see, it's kind of cold right now, I have a negative 50 degree sleeping bag. So, or what does this one say? Actually, yeah, negative 50 degrees. I don't personally believe it, but then again, we're in the United States. You'll never have to deal with negative 50 degrees. I don't think it ever gets that low. But in addition to that, I have another blanket on top of the microwave, and I have a smaller blanket down here under here. Now, I want to show you one other thing. In terms of these cabinets for clothes, because now keep in mind, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'6", 300 pounds. So you'll be amazed at 9 inches. Like I said, this is only 7 to 9 inches deep. And this is how much stuff I'm actually able to get in here. In terms of canned goods, these are 3 rows deep. In fact, down below, I have a complete battery booster and a very large cup or very large jug of protein powder. So it's amazing how much stuff you can get in just this small amount of space. And like I said, it makes for a nice, neat package. Believe it or not, this is, like I said, for a 6'6", 300 pound guy, you got 3-4 pair of pants up here. So pants, you got shirts, and then of course down here, going across the bottom, once again, you can store tons of other things, more shirts. I believe there's clothes for the gym in there, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4 cabinets there, and we're talking a couple cabinets here. The way I use this in terms of straps, or better yet, the fasteners, instead of using traditional metal fasteners, I have a bungee cord that runs along here, and as you can see, there is a hook. So you can just close those, put the bungee cord over it, and it keeps them shut. The reason I did it that way is because if I'm in a hurry to get moving for a load or something, I can just shove stuff in here. And even if it's filled a little bit, like say it's sticking out like that, the bungee cord will still give it the effect as if it's shut. I mean, it won't come open because of the bungee cord. It's still going to add enough tension that it stays closed. So as you can see, this is the entire vehicle. I didn't show you, I didn't want to go into the name of my company and all that crap, so I didn't take you outside. But up top, there are 4 100-watt solar panels, Renogy solar panels, that provide quite a bit of extra power. And obviously, you're going to need it for as much stuff as I got going on here. I would not recommend doing this without either a significant amount of batteries or a nice solar setup. And obviously in this case I have both, and I'm actually considering adding another battery to the system just simply because I have extra room to do so. But yeah, like I said, this vehicle, I went with the white look again. In terms of insulation, I definitely would advise doing it. Here's a little spot where you can see I have like 3 of these. These are like little foam. They're only rated at R1 or R3 or something like that. I got them from Home Depot. They're thin, but I packed a bunch of them on top of each other. So the thicker they are, the higher the R value. Behind that is Reflectix. So all of the walls are coated with Reflectix all the way alongside, and then on top of the Reflectix, you have this stuff. And then I have nice panels to give you a nice flush look, and believe it or not, it reflects a lot of light in here. If you notice, the last half of the van is not insulated. That's where a forced air vent will be installed. I'll be doing that probably in the springtime. I just purchased the vehicle in May, so there's still, still work to be done. There's still quite a bit I want to do to it. So, but from May till now, to November, this is what has been done so far. And, we'll see what happens from there. I don't think there's anything else to show, but if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Once again, like I said, I like the vehicle setup where you don't have to do too much converting. I want to be able to park at a Pilot or a Love's or something and sit in the back and boom, everything's ready to go. The only thing in this vehicle you got to do is take the 2 bungee cords out, use the bed, and that's it. Everything else is ready to go the minute you got it unloaded. Now, of course, there's always going to be the issue of what do you do when you have a load? You can't lay the bed out. And that's an unfortunate thing. That is true. I'll show you what the bed looks like real quick. All it is a frame. You see I got L brackets. And once again, this is that PVC stuff. It's not wood, it's PVC. So it does flex a little bit when a guy my size gets on here. But it holds me to the point where I can, stand up in the bed on my knees and put weight all in one spot. So I know this bed is flush throughout. But yeah, there's one big huge piece of PVC, and like I said, there's a second piece here, so you can fold that back down. That goes down, mattress goes down on top of it, and then obviously when it's time to go, mattress folds right back up to the wall, and we're ready to take in loads. But I just put one strap on there. But yeah, so that's how that's done. But the question is, when you have loads, what do you do? Well, the way I made this bed is it has a side, and it has 3 sides to it. One on top, front, and then at the bottom. This end here has no side. So if I need to, I can slide the mattress out and lay it on the ground or round freighter toward the front if I need to, because there is 70 inches of width between. From door to door, if you move the refrigerator out of the way, you actually can get the mattress down. Or if I got one skid in here, which takes up maybe 48 to 50 inches from the door to the middle of the middle of the van, I can put the mattress on the floor here and lay here, which I just done that over the weekend. I had a load in here for 3 straight days, from Friday to Monday, and I had to sleep on the ground. But either way, in the other van, if you noticed, I was already sleeping on the floor. So with this setup here, and with these planks at 11.5 inches, there's 11.5 inches of clearance under the bed now. So you're talking about as much clearance as a lot of beds in the typical house. Other than that, the same crap applies over here. We got another one of those quick lights, just in case you get in the vehicle, you need to turn on that light for any reason. Maybe the batteries are down or something's went wrong. And there's another light there. We got our cooking utensils that hang there. This is what's used to pull out freight. Below that, we obviously need these hooks here, which help you secure freight. Then down here I got canned goods. I'm not canned goods, but bug spray rather. And I keep this is like $5. Krylon white paint. That allows me, if I need to, which I've had to do once, I can touch up anything in here. It's a high gloss paint. You spray it and keep your doors open for about 20 minutes, let the stuff dry real quick, and you're good to go. So you can keep your white interior, because people ask all the time, well, how are you going to keep the interior bright white? It's pretty easy. But like I said, I've only had to use it once. I mean, most of the forklift drivers have no problem getting in here. So despite how tight it looks, stuff fit in here without a problem. So there's like I said, a complete tour of the van. If there's any questions, I see this video is getting a little long. If any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments and we'll talk. Have a good day.